Hey everybody, Hump Day Update, Tony George, DocSports.com. A couple of things to address before we get to another free play winner for you, won yesterday. Quickly, the Vegas Beat podcast, my personal StreamYard podcast, not found on YouTube. It's found on Twitter and Facebook, live and then archived there. Myself and Griff Murphy Day, 3 Central Standard Time. Be sure and tune in. If you miss it live, it'll be archived there. My Twitter or X, let me be politically correct, is at TGeorgeSports. Griff's is at GMurphyWins. But at TGeorgeSports, it'll play live, and then it'll be archived there. On Facebook, everybody's got Facebook. Just type in Tony George Sports. I got a group page over there. It'll be live there simultaneously as well, and then archived when the show is over. Be sure and tune in. We're talking AFC West, futures odds, some baseball, some other things in a raw, candid, and very unfiltered atmosphere. FYI. Secondly, I would be remiss in my duties as a sports handicapper of 32 years to not mention the passing in the last 24 hours of Las Vegas legend, sports handicapping legend and icon Dave Cokin. Dave passed away, succumbed to cancer after a long and lengthy battle. Courageous battle. He is one of the original OGs of our industry. Respected by all of his peers. Him and Las Vegas legend Scott Spreitzer, who's a member of Doc's family and a friend of mine. Scott had shared some thoughts with me over the weekend about Dave's struggles, and it was the near end was near, and him and Scott were damn near best friends, if not best friends. And going back for you old timers, now you new guys might not know who he is. He paved the way for everybody else, for a lot of us in this industry, me included. And I'm going back 32 years, and Dave was my senior. That's how long he's been around. You couldn't listen to sports radio in Las Vegas over the past 35 or 40 years and not hear Dave Cokin. If there was a Mount Rushmore of sports handicappers, he would be one of the 4 faces on it. Without question, not even an argument. You know. First radio gig I ever did involved Dave Cokin. I had, in the early 90s, I was in my, mid to late 20s, whatever it was. I want to say 93. I'm getting along in the tooth myself, but there was, the Stardust Casino had a radio studio in the sports book, and it was called the Stardust Line, which I did many times. But I won a contest, I think it was at the Nugget, NFL contest. I'd won it, a year-long thing. I think I won like $5,000 or something. Anyway, they said they want to interview you over at the Stardust Line. I go, what's that? I'm green. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm in my 20s. This is all new to me, and I'm kind of trying to get acclimated to it. And they had a radio studio in there. And the Stardust, for those of you that are new, you Gen Xers and millennials that are, doing 20-team parlay cards over at DraftKings because gambling's legal in your state, those type of dudes. The Stardust used to be where the line originated. They'd have a lottery on Sunday night and bring in, a handful of guys behind closed doors, and the odds makers would open up the lines they were going to post to these big, huge bettors and sharps, and they would bet accordingly based on the lines the book gave. Then they would adjust the lines. Then they would open up the door, let them out, then go post the lines. And they had a bank of phones, pay phones along the walls there. This is way before the internet. And you'd see all the wise guys out there calling back to New York and Chicago and Boston and Miami, telling them what the lines were as they opened up over the pay phones. But I walked into that studio to do this interview, just a greenhorn, scared to death, didn't know what to think in radio in Vegas, me, some kid from Lincoln, Nebraska, holy cripes. And Dave Cokin was in there, I believe it was with Jim Kelly, and put his hand on my shoulder, said, take a deep breath, kid, you're all right. Just talk about sports like it's me and you just sitting down at the bar having having one talking about it. And that's the attitude I've taken my entire life when it comes to broadcasting. But my very first radio appearance involved Dave Cokin. But nonetheless, rest in peace. God bless your fans, friends, and family. Sayonara, boy. Going to be missed. We've lost some legends here over the past 3 years. Dave Malinsky, Brian Blessing, both guys of which I worked with as well. Makes me kind of feel a little bit melancholy about my mortality. Things like that happen, for sure. Hashtag cancer sucks. Okay, so anyway, briefly, take the Reds today minus 145 against Chicago. I'm going to fade Kyle Hendricks. I'm going to make it short and sweet. Lay the 145 with the Reds. They're going to get it done over the Cubs today. They've already waxed them twice. Hendricks has got almost an 80 ERA his last 5 starts. 5 innings last game, gave up 6 runs, 8 or 9 hits against, I think it was the Royals. Nonetheless, I think Cincinnati gets them today. Short and sweet. Podcast is at 3 Central. Myself and Griff Murphy. Again, Twitter at TGeorgeSports. Facebook, just type in Tony George Sports. If you miss it live at 3 Central, it will be archived there. Yesterday, we lost our rear end in Major League Baseball. We've been bragging about an epic season and an epic run, and we've been tearing it up. But yesterday, hey, you can't win them all, and we got stung on Kansas City on the run line. They won by 1 run. I thought they'd destroy the White Sox again. But nonetheless, we had a losing day yesterday. We admit it. We'll bounce back. One play only, 3-unit best bet in Major League Baseball. Early afternoon game. We have a 4-unit pitcher prop tonight. Let's get back up on the wagon. Get our feet underneath of us. Get a win today on a low volume, low unit basis on a run line system play. And then we'll get ready for Thursday.